I'm just getting ready to go to bed. I'm gonna go wash my face. But I wanted to come in and chat just briefly, saying Happy New Year. We're going in. I love celebrating just different New Years. I never make New Year's resolutions. Those are usually saved for my birthday. So I'll make a declaration on my birthday, or even just kind of look at different aspects of each New Year. One of the things that I love about Chinese New Year is it comes at the end of January to near the end of February, and it's right before the equinox. And there's something energetically about the equinoxes, especially in spring, where it just kind of gives you this boost of energy for us in the northern hemisphere. And I just really love the energy. So there's just this nice, beautiful ramp up of, the New Year changes over in the Chinese astrology. And as many of you may know, we're going from a snake year into a horse year. And it's not necessarily the beginning, it's always a loop, it's a cycle. But we've basically went from this snake, which is a scorpionic energy, into the Sagittarian energy of um, expression and, just this freedom and expansion, which very much categorizes and details a lot of that Sagittarian influence. So it's a very exciting sign. It's ruled by Jupiter. And so you kind of have this really big energy that's going to be coming in. At the same time, we are also going from a 9 into a 10, or 1 year, you can call it. And the 1 year is all about leadership. It's about the self, it's about ego. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of that kind of energy also breaking through this year. And so I'm really excited to kind of let go of some of those really, not let go as in like forget about it, but let go um, of that past that I've been in, and I know a lot of other people have been in. The last year has been a very challenging one for me. And, as I'm, just looking back and really categorizing all the things that happened, it makes me really excited for this next year because it feels like a lot of stuff did burn down. So last year I named the year because right before, the Gregorian New Year, I like to name the year. I named last year the year of refinement, and boy, did that ever come true. And so this year is the year of connection. And so I'm really excited to plan trips and travel and go see friends in different states, different countries. And I think that that expansion really teaches you a lot about yourself. It teaches you a lot in that sometimes when we're living in our routines. I'm a very routine oriented person. I love my routines. I love waking up for work. I love my routine of getting ready for work. And it's calculated down almost to the minute of, this is the time I get up, this is what I do, and until I leave home. And so sometimes it's really good for those of us, especially those of us who love those routines, to travel somewhere and break that routine and see how other people are doing things differently in different regions. And so I'm really, really excited. I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. I will be going live tomorrow for my first episode officially of the year. And I was going to do it tonight, but my son wasn't feeling well today. And so I decided being a mother was more important than doing my live stream. And so we hung out and had dinner and, just helping him. And oh my gosh, my phone's about to die. just helping him just to be present in that. And so that's a big theme that's going to be for me this year, and I hope for you guys as well, is finding those connections. um, a lot of the relationships that I've had in the past, especially this past year, have gone away. And, that's part of the receding part of life. And then you have your expansions. And so I'm looking forward to meeting new people and integrating with their new energy, and also just finding new beautiful things to share with you guys here on the live stream. So it's just going to change the dynamics of what I do altogether. And so I'm really, really happy for that next level of life. So I hope that you guys are too. I hope that you join me. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. I'm really excited about the expansion that I experienced last year, even though it was a very difficult year. But I'm really excited for this next chapter of what's going to happen. Pine Sanitarium, hello, your wonderful self. I don't know if you're a lady or a male. um, but yeah, I am super excited. I've got some really nice topics going, and I've just been collecting them over the last, say about 6 to 8 weeks. I've been putting them all together and really thinking about, okay, what direction are we going to go this year? Um, so last year was, it's not that it was bad. It was just you have um, greetings from Mexico, city of Lomas Turbas. Oh, hello. From Mexico. I don't think I've had anybody watch from Mexico, at least not tell me anyways. Um, so I I talked a lot about that last year in my streams, just some of the things that I was going through. Um, a lot of it was geared around family generational wounding and having to work through that energy. And what do I mean by that? So for example, like I had to work through codependency, and it wasn't necessarily that it was my codependency. It was like probably some of mine and, some of my families that I had to face. My uncle passed away last year, and it was just a very jarring topic that I had to work through. And, um, I'm a very firm believer that God does not put these things in your life that you're not able to overcome. And, it's simply just God wants me to experience that for some reason and to work through that for some reason. And because I came here and am very powerful and able to move through that and to help assist energetically my family and the collective as a whole, this type of energy, and still remain grateful and grounded and present, and even more so. What are other things? I changed jobs, and so I left an old job, got a new job. I lost my car, so I've been without a car for about 8 months, and it's not a bad thing. Like, I was talking with my friend the other day. She was like, well, if you buy a car versus I live in the city, and so it's very easy for me to get to and from everywhere. And she's like I could rent a car if I wanted to go on a trip, which I do anyways, even if I had a car. I love renting cars. It's one of my favorite things. There's something about renting a car and it's like having a fresh horse is probably the best way to say it. And you just like have your fresh horse where it's just like wants to run. And that's how I feel when I rent a car. Very real and very difficult to navigate. You really have to face it head on and be deliberate about it. Yes, absolutely, Pine. Sorry to hear about your uncle. Thank you. I truly believe respectfully that it is the opposite. God puts us in positions that drive us toward Him, highlights our inability to be complete and unfulfilled without Him. That is true, and also the other thing is true. So, I've had to. I think probably one of the hardest things that I've been moving through in the last couple months, actually the last couple years, is to be both polar opposites of things at one time. And what I mean by that is like when my mom was dying, there were so many people that came up to me and they said, just be strong, just be strong. And I would look at them and I'm like, you have no idea what it feels like to go through what I'm going through right now. And I have been strong, and it's one of my, you know, my personality traits is just my strength in, people that meet me, or maybe even you guys can sense it over the airwaves. I don't know what to call them anymore. Is that what they're called? I don't know if they're called airwaves. But I remember just looking at them and thinking, I don't want to be strong. I just want to fall apart. I just want to be soft and to like to experience that and still be able to kind of move through these extreme polarity feelings. So, it made me realize that there's a lot of multiplicity that happens in life, and sometimes we can see things in black and white, but the multiplicity of life does present itself, and it is okay to experience those things. You can experience, well, especially for me, I'm a very emotional person, so I can experience, the good and the bad of something and really find the balance in that. Maybe it's my Libran energy, I don't know. But it's the same thing, like, I just don't think that there's one label for every single one thing. Like, there's multiple ways to feel about it, and we're so multifaceted as these beautiful human beings with so much capability, and just we're made wonderfully. And I don't even think that describes how awesome our bodies are, not just on a physical level, but we've got like, it's just expansive, and it it's the reason why I started podcasting. So yes to you, Pine, and also like I still think God puts these things in our paths to show us that we're able to get through them. Like we're not being disciplined in a way that's like breaking us to where we snap, which I think a lot of people are going through right now. That they've snapped. And there's a lot of dissociation that goes on in the world. For the purpose to put ourselves in our direct conversations with Him, to invest in the personal relationship. When you're saved, the hard times don't leave, expect them, but know you'll never walk through them alone again. Yeah, well, that's a huge. I think right now a lot of people are going through some serious identity shedding, meaning that the composition of their personal lives, the composition of their friendships and relationships in general are being disbanded, and then, you know, this new energy is going to come in as well. Or they might not have the capacity to pull that in, and they'll just go through the same cycle again. Um, I've had to, I know that I'm very well supported and that people appreciate and love me. And so it's not that I'm feeling sorry for myself, but the feeling of being alone does come in, because when you're going through, and that's why I talk about this candidly, when you're going through identity shedding, um, you're putting you, especially for me, like I'll hermit. And so there's a tendency to like push people away while you're kind of like shedding, you know, parts of yourself that no longer fit your energy level, especially if you're like leveling up. So, um, not that I'm saying that you're not correct, Pine, but but there's also like other facets that go into this as well that I think should be looked at. Not that everything is has to be like checkbox. I don't think that's the case. But I do find that, you know, with this identity shedding, there's this threshold liminal moment where there's like a threshold liminal moment where it does feel lonely, that it does feel like everything is bereft of you. And maybe people call that the dark night of the soul. You can call it that. But it's it's like laying naked before God, maybe is a good way to say it. I agree. Wonderful conversation. Good luck on your live and remainder of your journey this year. And yeah, well, I hope to see you. Come in. I appreciate people that come in and chat with me, because you know, it helps me to see like where people are as well. Um Anyhow, I wanted to come on and say happy new year. I'm just kind of just I worked today, so I feel a little like I've done a lot today. So, um, but I will come on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about a little bit more about the year of the horse. We're going to be talking especially about the year is a year one, which I was born a life path one. And so we'll talk a little bit about that, what that means. And, you know, I love to talk about archetypes, and we'll talk about some mythical stories, maybe even Sagittarius itself, because that's going to be a big theme in this year. It's going to be a bright, bubbly year. I just can see that. And talk about, you know, what it's going to look like from now until I think around the equinox is when people are going to start to bounce into their new selves. So, anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much for clicking, for tuning in, and for chatting. I appreciate you. And if you are around, I will see you tomorrow. I have it scheduled on my page, Celestic Intelligence. My name is Amelie, and I hope that everything has worked out well for you this year, and I hope to see you along with my journey going forward. All right, bye guys.